introducing, for anyone not familiar with them, Leatherlung. They are identifiably, no question, a doom band. Doom, sludge, stoner. And in the event you don't really know what that is, that's okay. Think the first 4 Sabbath albums, and that's the parent company. Or Witchfinder General, another fine example. And you want a song to reference quickly? No Stayer, and good luck trying to sit still when the main riff kicks in that one. Now, add a bunch of distortion pedals and don't bother scooping out those mids. In fact, turn them up a quarter of the way and then slow down the tempo to about what the intro to Under the Sun's like, or go even slower and you got Sludge, a subsidiary. Think Acid Bath or Buzzoven. Or keep the distortion pedals and swap the doomy sounding riffs for something a little brighter and you got Stoner Rock. Brant Bjork from Kyuss' solo work, great example. Or if it's easier, fucking heavy metal, man. What's wrong with that? But okay, Leatherlung, they got a new album coming out in March, Graveside Grin, which I got a feeling based on the lead single, Spit in the Casket, that the grin's a real shit-eating one. What an expression, you know? What the hell's that even mean? Pretty wild, man. But because I think they rule, maybe you might too if you haven't gotten a chance to hear them before. So here's a brief encapsulation on these dudes, once again from Boston. So yes, they are a very sludgy, at times stonery doom band, but my argument is that there's something pretty unique about them. They got a real unique quality. In order to try and describe, let's say, where they're coming from, or the type of songs they maybe aim to write, I will present the following scenario. The band I'm going to cite as an example for the template I think Leatherlung might have used during their formation, it needs to be noted, both are from completely different subgenres. In that respect, you would not say one is very much like the other at all, but check this out. In the early 2000s, there was a hardcore band, also from Massachusetts, who, as I understand, were made up of dudes previously in other bands that were playing a style of metal that was popular at the time. It wasn't entirely the In Flames, you know, at the gates sort of thing, but it was relatively close. Honestly, it was its own sort of thing, because it contained a little more emotion than the Euro stuff, you could say. The Year of Our Lord's a good example if you're gonna go searching. But anyway, this band that formed was called Bury Your Dead. You might remember them. Now, what I heard is that the members decided to write simple, non-complex, metal-y sounding hardcore songs similar to bands like Throwdown or Death Threat, and pack them with tons of real fun, moshy breakdowns. So it meant stepping away from the more technical stuff they'd been playing in their previous bands and only do simple, like metallic sounding hardcore. Here's part 2 of the example. Oftentimes in doom, and very easily, there can be parts within songs that are nearly whole sections of just jam sorts of things. Think biggies like Sleep. And I mean, you know, for a genre based around getting stoned, it's pretty easy to imagine how those sorts of things can happen. But in Leatherlung's case, that is kept to a very small, bare minimum, and instead, and here's the point I'm trying to make, these guys keep it simple, truly just straight up heavy, hookish, stomp-inducing, mean, mid to slightly slower than mid-paced sludge that makes you want to stomp too. And along with this heaviness, they go for the melody and the hook. Do they ever? So you know what Leatherlung are? They are a guarantee. They're a guarantee that you won't be let down if you want pure, unadulterated, groovy sludge. You can take comfort and rest damn perfectly assured that that's what you're gonna get. You don't have to worry about any even ounce of bullshit. And by that I mean you never have to worry about, at least so far with the material that we have, you never have to worry about a song turning into something where you're like, hold on a second, is this some sort of like emo part or something? No, sir. Now, a very important component of particularly what gives their songs the feel that they have, their BPMs. Their BPMs often seem to just slightly be below what you'd consider mid-paced, right? Although not as slow as, say, somebody like Crowbar or Weedeater. And because of this, it gives you this constant kind of like almost edge of your seat sort of feel where you think it can go either way. It can either suddenly get slower or with the way that the guitars kind of follow the drums, it creates this, I keep saying it, but stomp, this I've seen these dudes live before. The whole band goes off when they play. Very exciting to watch them on stage. But of course, which member has the least amount of restriction to do that? The singer. And dude, he's David Lee Roth on stage. He's DLR. Leatherlung is a very, very fun band, and the singer puts that on display so damn clearly. Mike Vickers is honestly original and like, Who else looks like they're having as much of a blast on stage in the stoner genre as this dude? He's perfect for this band. I'd be willing to bet there's not one person out there who's seen Leatherlung live that wouldn't agree. He is totally exciting to watch. So okay, we're still in the BPMs, so it's got that kind of energy, right? Without it being fast. But what really blows your mind is that in so many instances in their catalog, if you're hearing a song for the first time, you're just sure that they are right on the verge of breaking into some kind of like all-out war, Hatebreed style breakdown, something that's undeniably hardcore, but they never do. Instead, they go into a different sort of breakdown, which, yes, they exist in Doom and Sludge, but it's here where we have these stomp parts, and they are very, very cool. And that's how you know these dudes are the real deal and authentic to their subgenre. I mean, you know, the hardcore breakdowns get people moving, of course. So wouldn't that be an easy way to get their crowds tap dancing? Sure, but why would they do that? Doom isn't hardcore. And yeah, they're sludgy hardcore, but these guys at no point stray anywhere from the style that they play. So ultimately, you got a very special recipe in Leatherlung, because this is lean and it's free from any experimentation or cross-genre fucking around. And with their riffs and guitar and bass tones in combination with Mike's voice, which, whoa, is it mean sounding? It's real sinister, very throaty and scratchy, and depending on the song, it can sound pissed off, or in other instances, like they're having a good time. And there are some parts in songs, not many, but occasionally, that do have those sort of Z Witchfinder general clean vocals. That's common in Doom. Hell, I've brought up Resin and Acid Mammoth before, and both of those bands only have clean vocals. So just Leatherlung's sound and Mike's vocals, they are perfect for each other. And a note on their versatility as it relates to song themes. Some bands only sing about party, and others about, you know, fucking killing yourself or killing somebody else or something. But these guys are versatile in the way that, like, you know, shit, anybody else is who's not a straight theme band. Like GNR, for example. You got Paradise City, you got Move to the City, but you also got Right Next Door to Hell or Coma. So with Lung, they have their fun anthems like Freak Flag, Dirty Mangy Dog, Road Soda, Gin and Chronic, or laid back stuff like Whiskey Barrel Blues, or straight up couch lock like A Forward Escape or Destination Void. Or they can be serious like Far Too Familiar, or the latest track, Spit in the Casket. Alright, so like, just like I did with Final Gasp, I'll just run through a select bunch of songs, like give quick rundowns, because really the goal with this video was just to introduce a band I think's awesome to anybody who might not have checked them out yet. And plus, I want to save a full review of Graveside Grin when it comes out. Okay, we'll start at Reap What You Sow. Their first release is a band that I'm aware of, at least in 2014. And Reap What You Sow is another good example that I think adds to the real dealness of these guys in their genre, because it came out in 2014 during a time when, like, truthfully, Doom wasn't really the happening subgenre like it's been at other points. In 14, metalcore was still pretty big, you know, gent, a lot of the deathcore stuff. And plus, to go back to geographics, hell, I was there at that period. The closest stuff to sludge you ever really had coming out of New England was the more scene type stuff like ISIS or Old Man Gloom, because, I mean, Grief was already long dead at that point, and other bands like that. So yeah, enter Leatherlung. So alright, Reap What You Sow is the first Street Fighter game. Like, you understood the main idea. It was a side-by-side fighting game that was cool as hell, but not till Street Fighter 2 was it really able to show more of itself. The first track, Burnin' Out, is a straight-up foreshadowing of what was to be expounded upon greatly. It's a perfect introduction to understand the band if you're going in chronological order. Green Bitch, signature Leatherlung in that no bullshit, no fucking around, they know what they exist to do, and they do it. They don't experiment or try to, like, here's a great example. Mike, I know he likes metal other than just Doom. You've seen him wearing Sodom shirts, and hell, I saw him with a Grim Reaper shirt at Psycho, rest in peace Steve Grimmett. But yeah, so you never hear Leatherlung playing any thrash or Reaper style heavy metal or Maiden. It's just straight up stoner sludge heavy metal, and they never stray. Fucking A. Stone by stone. It's more of this is who we are, and make no mistakes about it. This headshot metal, glass piece bong store metal with a really cool hippie couple in their 50s or 60s who own it. That's what we play. Moth to the Flame. More like a slightly slower BPM, but not to the point where it'd be considered a slow song, but just another variant of this kind of like groove and stomp that they got such a unique way of presenting. The BPM actually does pick up for a second at a few points, but like, I don't know, think about Orange Goblin pace when they're doing something fast, but it's not like thrashy fast. And man, Mike's screams are just like, his vocals are badass here, man. Repack, Relight's a largely instrumental jam outro. Okay, but this track, it certainly is slow. You kind of do feel like you smoked a bunch of weed and you already got past that certain climb, and now you're just up there. Now, 2016, the first full album release, Lost in Temptation, and it is fucking awesome. The first track, Freak Flag, there's a video for it, and it's an anthem, and it's definitely their rock and roll all night. It's got a real mean sludge breakdown. And what's funny is that, like, these guys, they're just rockers, yet the song totally professes being freaks, which I always thought was funny, because, like, growing up, people like this were still considered just regular people, despite being clear rocker types. And the freaks were the goth types, like, not even just the Cure types, but like, the industrial kind that looked like, well, fucking freaks. Gin and Chronic. The song's friggin' awesome. It's honestly so leather lung, slightly faster than mid-paced, real stomping, and like, this band's got a lot of songs I love, but oof. Favorite Leather Lung song? Fuck, that's a tough one. I gotta get back to you on it. Moment of Misfortune. There is a part with a faster punk sounding beat, but then right into their stomping riffs. And like, there's a part with clean vocals during a soft moment. It's just so friggin' doom and 70s at an outdoor biker party at a local park or something. And at the end of the night, when lots of people are all passed out but still together, some are still partying, and like, it's just a cool vibe. Okay, so the outro, Destination Void, it's kind of an extension of this cool interlude track in the middle of the album, Spice Melange. And you know what's cool about this? This is a situation where, take for example other interludes by doom bands, or hell, bands period. Take one of my favorite ever, maybe yours too, but that song Doob Interlude on Down 2. I love that song so much, and I've always wished there was a much longer version. And fuck, I know I brought this up in an earlier video, but I once asked Jimmy Bauer directly if Down would ever consider writing more songs like that. Again, this is back all the way in 05, but he said Down had once discussed, and who knows how deeply it went, but he said they once talked about writing a whole album like that. That would fucking rule. But so, how cool is it that if you love Spice Melange, yes, it's a great interlude that's very short, well, in Destination Void, you don't have to worry about it, because it's like that, but it's just like an extended and expanded upon version. Fuck. And it's total space, total stoner, all that. It ends in complete fuzz, just complete static. Like one of those situations where the producer was like, okay, how much fuzz do you guys want? And they just go, yes. Okay, a few tracks from the follow-up album, Lonesome, Ornery, and Evil in 2019. Barbed wire, rocker, stoner rock, Fu Manchu sort of thing. It really kicks your shit in. Dirty, mangy dog, more mean badassery, signature leather lung. You see the whole situation from afar when you're having a good day and you're like, I don't know if I want to fuck with those guys. They look pretty pissed off about something. Ain't Feeling No Pain, mean riff, kind of has a COC feel. It's a soft, heavy song, like soft in the sense that there isn't an overload of gain on the guitars, but yet they're still heavy. It's got a clean vocals part that it carves out the melody, man. Miscreants, another song where like, because of its stomp, and okay, if this song was an animal, you'd see it coming out of the woods from across the parking lot. And again, this is because of the BPM, so you don't know whether the thing's gonna, fucking lunge at you and rip your face off, or if it'd just be too slow or something. So maybe again, just better just not to fuck around with that thing, whatever it is. Actually, you know what it'd be? It'd be those scary dogs from the first Ghostbusters, only these are on weed and lewds. A Forward Escape. It's kind of a jammy, laid-back outro with a great riff. Okay, so 2022's Dive Bar Devil EP. The first song's another one I hope never happens to me, Pissing Gasoline, but it gets right into it. It doesn't fuck around, signature leather lung, and loud. Road Soda. It's got some clean, spacey vocals, and for some reason this song's like, I mean, tons of this band's music can be described as fun, but something about this song seems to be particularly happy, and I don't know why. It reminds me like it's early spring and they're having carnivals around your town, and you see like all the kinds of bikers and the hippies you'd want to see, and you fucking know summer's gonna be approaching soon, and the weather's getting warmer, and it's starting to stay light out later, and for whatever reason you don't seem as nervous or worried about all the fucking shit going on around you at that time. It's good times, man. far too familiar. It starts off kind of like, it's got this subtle type of background, like, I don't know if it's a lap guitar or if it's just somebody using a slide, but it's really fucking cool. It's very like riding through the desert, riding through Nevada, way outside of Vegas or Utah or Arizona or something. Remember when you'd look at certain 90s rockers and you'd see them wearing like Southwestern inspired styles or cowboy hats, like Tom Kiefer from Cinderella? Maybe a good way to keep the fantasy scenario from Road Soda going is like, okay, so now it's mid-July and you've been having a damn fun summer, but in this instance, you're going through the desert and you're like, you realize you've been doing way too many drugs, drinking way too much lately, and you're suddenly like, I know I really gotta slow the partying down, but you know you're not gonna, and in fact, you're already looking forward to getting fucked up again that night, and it's just, the song's a mood. Alright, so now we're up to their most recent output, the first single from Graveside Grin, Spit in a Casket. I kinda talked about this a little in my last video, but like, there's a really cool part where he goes, bitch, and like, it's so fucking awesome. And I won't ruin him, because it's fun when you find him on your own, but the singer Mike does such a good job of like, I don't know what literary form I'm trying to describe here is, like allegory or metaphor or something, but his lyrics are like, they're genuinely very sharp and clever, and like, you know what, a song like this, it's the lyrics, yes, but I think maybe also the way he delivers them, and coupled with the melody, of course, but like, you seriously feel bad for the dude, like, he's been unfairly wronged by one person, and maybe just a whole bunch of shit that eventually mounted up, and he's voicing that again, and it's like, maybe it's because I got to meet him and stuff, and he's a legitimately nice person, so you're like, shit man, that blows that would ever happen to a nice person like that. And on top of that, like, Leatherlung, they're also kind of a voice for people who might feel a little down about themselves, like maybe they don't think they're good enough for certain stuff, or deserving of love, or the way they are naturally, like maybe that's not exactly what's considered cool in society's eyes. So these guys remind you that there is indeed another group of people out there that looks like you, and you're welcome to hang out too and have a good time, because why not? I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm reading a little too deeply, but that's the feeling that I get at least. So there you go, man, there's Leatherlung. I think at this point I've said enough, so if you want to hear him, go for it, man. But okay, that's enough of my bullshit. So hey, if you like this video, cool, man, maybe you can give it a thumbs up, or if you just like hearing somebody bullshit about heavy metal, then fucking A, hit that subscribe button, man. We'll see you next time on Concrete Spew, but until then, stay dirty, stay mangy, stay heavy metal, psychos.